Welcome back to the Subaru Australian Mountain Bike Championships. We join the elite women's cross-country field, and Jenni King still out in front, Chris.
It seems like she's opening up a seriously unassailable lead at this stage, and she's not showing any signs of slowing down at all. Here we see Kath O'Shea, the defending national champion, the only woman at this stage who's putting in a serious chase.
Yeah, Jenni looks really good. She's got her composure. She's pedaling fantastically, and she's going to be hard to beat.
And we see her now approaching the start-finish area, the Subaru Arena, battling up through that horrible loose climb. But it looks like she's doing easy work of it, keeping a nice smooth cadence and powering over without getting thrown offline too much at all, taking on some water. She's a coach and she rides with Talk Nutrition, so she'll know a lot about what it takes to stay hydrated and properly fueled in these kind of conditions.
Yeah, she's definitely taking on fluid and being able to hold the fluid down in these sorts of conditions is imperative to your performance, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of water drunk today.
And as we can see, Rowena Fry just previously reaching that quarry climb as well. A huge gap back to second place, but Rowena Fry seems to have passed Kath O'Shea and has moved into that second spot at some stage. Kath O'Shea, there we see her now. We don't know what's gone wrong at this stage, but she's got some serious ground to make up if she's going to get back into contention.
Go on, 45 seconds.
And we've just heard there, as Jenni King passes the top of the climb, someone on the sidelines telling her that she's got a 45-second gap, which is huge at this stage of the race. 46 seconds back to Rowena Fry, we can see now. And she seems to be putting in some seriously hard efforts at the moment. The head's hanging low as she sucks in the big ones, trying to shut down that gap, but it's going to be a huge, huge ask at this stage.
Yeah, definitely hard gap to pull that back on a course that's this short, and in these conditions looks like it's almost getting over.
And Paul, just touching on that briefly, the UCI, the World Cycling Governing Body, has made the call to shorten the laps and the overall length of the Olympic cross-country event. Can you just give me your thoughts on that briefly?
Basically, it's going to favour riders that can start really fast and hold that sort of hold that momentum. So the outcome of the race for a lot of these events, it's not really going to change a lot. Hopefully it's going to make it more exciting for spectators.
Speaking of excitement, we see the riders here tackling Sunset Boulevard, definitely one of the steeper, more technical descents on the course, and one of the areas that offers multiple line choices. It's interesting to see. You can really gauge how a rider is feeling and how their fatigue is by the lines that they opt to take down there. The people who are feeling fresh can take the straighter, faster, but more risky lines, whereas the people who are battling a little bit more might choose to keep the wheels on the ground, not taking any risks, as we see Catherine O'Shea doing there. She's still sitting in 5th place, the defending national champ, struggling to make up that time that she lost due to a mechanical, reportedly, as we see Jenni King here coming back towards the start-finish area, where she'll undoubtedly take on some more fluids. And we see her catching up with Shelley Flood, one of our under-23 riders, who is actually contesting the downhill as well.
Paul and Chris, of course it's an Olympic year. Is this something that's going to be on the girls' minds while they're trying to get around this course?
Yes, absolutely. The spot for the Olympics for the women's not guaranteed yet, and the race starts today in terms of qualifying anyway, regardless. So you can definitely see that Jenni's on a mission.
And speaking of on a mission, look at that time gap now, well over 2 minutes. Jenni King is absolutely blowing this field apart. 2 minutes 13 back to Rowena Fry. Quite close, though, between Jodie Willett and Jenny Fay in 3rd and 4th, so that could be a battle to watch. Jodie Willett here, one of the only riders on a 26-inch dual suspension mountain bike. And Paul, would you be running a dual suspension bike or a hardtail out here today?
Yeah, it's one of those courses it's so rough, and dual suspension bikes are so light these days. I'd probably go the dually.
And we can hear a little bit of advice and support coming from Jenni King's helpers there at the top of the climb, just letting her know what the time gap is back to 2nd place. Oh, and as we join Rebecca Henderson, our under-23 champion, the under-23s doing, of course, one less lap than the elites. Not a lot of celebrating, more just relief on her face as she rolls in these horrible hot conditions after dominating the under-23 field. Well done to Rebecca Henderson. Huge effort.
Yeah, definitely a star of the future and one to watch.
And Catherine O'Shea here, rolling in to get some assistance by the looks of it. Clearly still being troubled by whatever mechanical fault it was earlier on in the race that's been impeding her performance. And as we once again rejoin the indomitable Jenni King.
Yeah, looking really smooth and coming up to the finish by the look of it.
She is riding with just absolute consistency and just looks so calm and composed on the bike, doesn't she? I mean, you wouldn't know if this is her first lap or a sixth lap or she was just out for a training ride at this stage. She looks so smooth and just in the groove.
Yeah, definitely a way to win a national title. You know, she's been fast, consistent laps and has just taken the race by the horns.
Yeah, the maturity of the rider there and her experience is clearly showing through. She hasn't made any silly mistakes. She hasn't got too excited. She's just ridden her own race from start to finish, and it's been an amazing race too.
Yeah, great race to watch and a great race, you know, in these conditions. It's such a tough thing to do.
Here we go. Finally, a little bit of emotion coming onto her face as she pops out that lip, bit of a smile coming on, can barely raise her arms in a victory salute. That's we really see the effort telling right at the end there, but she's kept it under her hat up until that stage.
Yeah, fantastic result from Jenni. She rode an amazing race, and to do that in those conditions, incredible.
And Rowena Fry here we see approaching the finish line. She's going to take second place here at the Subaru Australian Mountain Bike Championships. The 2010 champion rolling in here for second place. You've got to be happy with that against such a dominant performance as Jenni King's today.
Yeah, bear in mind that Rowena's just come off a road program, so, you know, for her to come out on the mountain bike, second's not a bad result today.
And of course the Mountain Bike World Cup Series is about to kick off too, and those races will probably have more bearing on Olympic selection than perhaps the National Championships today. So that's still to come, and you can bet your bottom dollar that Rowena Fry is going to be very firmly focused on those races. And as we see Jodie Willett here rolling in for third place, that's a huge effort from the Queenslander. And that must be one of her best results at a national champs level for sure. Slumping onto the bike, the heat has clearly taken its toll on this girl.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be looking forward to their ice bars tonight.
Now let's cross to hear some words from Jenni King, our new Australian mountain bike national champion.
Jenni, you've been out the front all season pretty much. To win at the national championships is completely deserved, but green and gold for the next year.
Yeah, I haven't thought too much about it yet. Yeah, this was always going to be a big goal of mine, the national championships. It's always a big thing to be able to wear the jersey overseas all year. So yeah, and I particularly, you know, tapered for this race and worked on my weaknesses. I knew this would be sort of quite a power course, so I really worked on that in the last month or so. So yeah, I'm really glad it all paid off. Yeah.
It certainly worked for you today. Did the heat bother you at all?
Not too much. I was well hydrated. I really relaxed yesterday in air conditioning. I think, yeah, the key was just to stay hydrated and not think too much about the heat. I think, yeah, everyone had the same conditions. So, I mean, to me, yeah, the tough conditions probably, I didn't mind too much.
Tell us about being able to say that you are the national champion now and forever, basically.
Yeah, I can, you know, always claim that. For the year 2012, I was national champion. So, yeah, no, I'll be happy if I retire tomorrow with that. I'm stoked. Yeah.
Rowena Fry, how hard was it to watch Jenni disappear into the distance?
Yeah, well, it wasn't that hard. I just couldn't go any harder, unfortunately. Jenni rode fantastic today, and I mean. You can't get a nicer girl on the mountain bike, and you know, if I really wanted to win, I'm disappointed I didn't, but I'm very, very happy for her as well.
How about Jenni's form today? Did you have any chance of keeping in the same postcard?
Oh, look, I think Jenni's riding so strong, and she's not only got form, she's got the race confidence. You know, it's been so long since she's been beaten, so that counts for so much. So she's in awesome form. Can't say anything against her. You know, you gotta beat her. You gotta step up to that level.